Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how easily the narcissist rewrites the past. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So rewriting the past, this is something that the narcissist was doing when you were in the relationship, when you first met them. It's what they're doing right now, and it's what they will be doing for the rest of their life. Because in the narcissist's mind, they need to rewrite the past to fit that little script that goes around in their brain. And it's got to be flawless. It's got to be the way they want to remember things, not the way things really were. So this is why when you were in that relationship, you probably, first of all, were vulnerable. And second of all, you probably were listening to all the words of the narcissist, believing that they were true. You were believing that that person had your best interest at heart and that perhaps all their other former relationships blew up, but it was all their faults. But what you didn't know, it was the narcissist's fault. The narcissist was blowing up the relationships, and probably they blew up your relationship, or they're certainly trying to do so right now. But how the narcissist so easily rewrites the past, it's because they can't be accountable. They can't introspect. They won't take blame for anything. Now, there's an expression that says it takes two to tango. Well, that would be correct. It does take two to tango, which means in every relationship, there are two people. There's usually two healthy, stable people. But then you met the narcissist, the behemoth, the juggernaut, and this person rocked your world. It spun you upside down. You couldn't believe the experiences you were tolerating. You couldn't believe the things you were seeing. You couldn't believe the poor behaviors that you saw. And you kept on giving to a fault, trying to stay in that relationship longer and longer, despite the fact that the narcissist was trying to break it. And how the narcissist kept on rewriting the past so easily when you were in the relationship, they would try to cover up their poor behavior by gaslighting you, which is having you not believe your sense of reality, or did you really see what you saw? And they would just act like it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Or they wouldn't address it at all. You see, one of the things with the narcissist, one way that they keep people stuck in the narcissistic fog is by not addressing key points, key issues, topics, concerns, questions. So you will notice when you were in the relationship, if you would bring something up and want to talk to the narcissist, again, you didn't know they were a narcissist back then, but if you would want to have an adult conversation or bring up a point to be addressed by them, this point would never be resolved. It would just continue to go around in a loop, and the narcissist would throw word salad at you. They would blame shift you. They would give you the silent treatment. They would stonewall you. These are all verbal techniques to not have the target, which was you, get what you want. They're distractions, if you will. And this is why one way, when you were trying to get some healthy communication with the narcissist, when they would paint the past not so bad so easily, it's because they can lie effortlessly. They can paint the narrative of the past any which way the wind blows. And the narcissist, do they have a good memory? Well, I'll tell you right now, they have a selective memory, which means they will remember what they want to remember that would benefit them, or they will bring things up and recreate things that did or didn't happen from the past, but try to gaslight you into having you believe that your sense of reality wasn't real and that their version was real. And this is one way they keep people trapped in the cycle. Because when you're doubting yourself day in and day out, and you're listening to the false narrative or the false rhetoric of a person who claimed that they loved you, i.e. the narcissist, you're in a very challenging and vulnerable position, to say the least, because your sense of reality is going out the window. This is why when you're in these relationships, you lose your identity to the narcissist, because the narcissist essentially has done such damage to you, inflicting so much discomfort and so much trauma into you, that you by default give in to them, because you never did know when the front door would open. Would it be Dr. Jekyll? Would it be Mr. Hyde? You never had stability in the relationship. You never had calmness or serenity or peace. What you had was all of the toxicity of the narcissist, them dumping it into you, you doubting yourself, them rewriting the past, you believing in their false narrative of the past, and then you would go on to live for another day. This is what happens day in, day out. But then again, what happened when you first met the narcissist? Well, they probably, as I mentioned, said that all their exes were toxic or not good people or etc. And you were back then saying, well, hey, I can be the one. I can be the white knight in shining armor. I can be the one that raises the kids or puts a wedding ring on your finger, or we can live happily ever after, etc. And the narcissist knew this because, remember, the narcissist is a parasite. They needed a host. They needed someone to catapult them through a period of their life to get to the next level. And that's what you provided for the narcissist for that period of time, whether it was a week, a month, a year, a decade, 30 years, but that's what you did. And then again, each and every narcissistic relationship breaks. The narcissist is always pressing on the gas pedal of abuse, and they're always rewriting the past, trying to keep their targets in the relationship as long as they possibly can. So the target, which was you, as long as this person is providing something for them. Because the narcissist looks at people as opportunities. They look at people as ways to take advantage of. They look at your empathy as weak, as your love as foreign, and as your kindness and commitment and dedication as something to step on. The narcissist is a train wreck just waiting to happen. That's why I strongly suggest in every video I create, go no contact, block these people, delete them, etc. But the narcissist had you doubting your sense of self. And that is why you became a shell of yourself, because you didn't have anybody healthy or stable to bounce things off of each and every day. So let's imagine you came home from work. Well, what would you do? Many times you would be talking to the narcissist and you would be trying to explain how your day went. Maybe you had a great day. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe you had a not so good day and you had to stay late for work, or you have to work this weekend, etc. Well, would the narcissist be listening to you? No, they wouldn't be listening. They would be saying things like, well, it's not that bad. What's the big deal? Suck it up. Who's going to pay the mortgage? You have the job, you're fortunate to have a job. Or I don't hear anybody else complaining about this. This is what the narcissist would say. And let's say you got the promotion or the pay raise. They're not going to celebrate with you. They're going to claim that they have to do laundry from 5 weeks ago, or that they have to watch paint dry or watch the grass grow rather than celebrate with you. But these are the behaviors you tolerated so long and so frequently in the narcissistic relationship. And when you would bring them up, maybe you would address something. Hey, remember 2 years ago when you said this, this, or this, or whatever happened with this idea? I thought we were going to go to Tahiti on vacation, etc. Well, they would gaslight you and say, we never talked about that. What do you mean? I have no idea. Remember, we agreed that we weren't going to do that. We were going to take that money and send it to my mom because my mom needs money. Remember, we said we're going to do that. Things like this. And you would be doubting yourself, saying, wait, no, I know we talked about it. I remember, because we had those conversations for a couple weeks in a row and we planned, remember? Well, they paint the narrative, they paint the past as if that conversation never happened, or as if they addressed it with you and they had resolution and you guys agreed that you wouldn't be doing whatever it was you planned to be doing. But the narcissist knows what they are doing, and they are master manipulators. They are puppet masters. They are people who keep other people trapped in the narcissistic fog. They are people who do not want the betterment for other people. They are envious and jealous of others. And the narcissist is always, and I mean always, in competition with their spouses, with their children, with their colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, moms, dads, people in hobby groups, etc. But what the narcissist does so easily and so effortlessly is they rewrite the past, and they will flat out lie about anything as long as it gets them what they want, because the narcissist lives for the moment. You need to remember that. You live in the present moment, and there's a huge difference. Living in the present moment means you're not ruminating or thinking about the past. You're not predicting the future. You are living in the abundance, living in the present moment. The narcissist lives for the moment, which means they will make plans with anybody and say anything they want to. And if something better comes along, they will just not do those plans or act like they never made them, etc. In other words, so effortlessly just paint the past as if they never made the plans, because they want to go on to what is exciting, what is new. The narcissist is always on the quest, looking for the next new shiny object. They're looking for the next source of supply. And then the supply of the narcissist, it certainly does not have to be a romantic interest. It can be a pet, it can be a trip, it can be a watch, it can be a car, it can be your time, it can be on social media, it can be anything. That's what the narcissist needs. They need supply. The narcissist needs to be needed. They need to feel important. They need to feel that people look up to them and people respect them. And the narcissist needs to come from a place of authority. This is why when you're in the narcissistic fog and you don't know how you got there and you don't know what narcissism was, you're in a very challenging and debilitating space of mind, because you don't know what's going on. You weren't taught this in school. All you do know is that things are deteriorating more and more. And every time you would bring up something from the past, the narcissist would blame shift you, or they would give you the silent treatment, or they would rewrite the past so easily, flat out lying to you, or fibbing, or telling a sliver of the truth, or telling a partial truth. But the narcissist is never genuine or authentic. They can't be that way. They are shapeshifters. They need to change the mask to fit whatever person they're communicating with in that moment. And sometimes they use the same mask with certain people, but many times they change the mask flat out altogether. Example, when they're in the household, well, they're gonna have a mask for those that live in the house. When they're on the exterior on a biking group, they're gonna have a mask for those people in the biking group. When they are at work, they're gonna have a different mask. When they are on a train or a plane or an automobile, a different mask. You see, the narcissist needs attention. They need to feel that they are valued and important. Let's take the dinner that I mentioned so frequently on the channel. Say you went to dinner with a narcissist, and again, you didn't know that they were a narcissist, and it would be the first time that you were ever in that restaurant, and you would be so excited to go because it's a new restaurant in town, and you would be telling them all about it, and they're excited to go, or so you think. Well, first of all, the narcissist would be late because they want to blow up your great night, but anyway, you get there. Second of all, you're driving them there because you're the unpaid helper and the chauffeur. Third of all, they would get a table where they had the best view of all the people in the restaurant because the narcissist wants to be seen. And fourth of all, they would be triangulating you, not only with the waitstaff, probably with other people that were in the restaurant, batting their eyelashes or showing the rosy cheeks, etc. And then after the dinner, after they triangulated you with their smartphones and everything else, what you would be saying, hey, that was a great dinner, wasn't it? And they would be saying, oh no, that dinner was okay, it was average. So-and-so told me about it, it wasn't such a big thing. I didn't really enjoy it that much. And then you would be deflated and you would be scratching your head saying, but wait, we talked about this a month ago, planning to have this great dinner. And you're telling me that now someone else said something else? Well, this is what the narcissist does. You see, the narcissist doesn't want to give you credit for anything, not for your accomplishments, not for the way you raised the children, not for your school, not for your assets, not for your beautiful relationships, definitely not for your beautiful, bright, shining light. The narcissist does not want you to be you. And to make sure that they can twist the knife inside of people as deeply as possible, they will gaslight, stonewall, triangulate, all the things I talked about. But what they will do is they will rewrite the past so effortlessly because their version of the past is not your version. Your version is reality. You know what happened in that relationship. That's why you need reminders. That's why you come back to the channel to get your cup full, to understand that you need to get topped up with wisdom, and you need to be bulletproof, and you need to be hooverable proof from the narcissist or any toxic people. But see, the narcissist experience is totally different than yours in virtually every part of that relationship. Whereas you were probably looking at them with eyes of love and appreciation and respect and empathy and all those things if you fell in love with them, or even if you loved them, maybe it was your parent. They weren't looking at you that way at all because the narcissist can't love. They have no empathy and they only care about what they can take or destroy in other people or from other people. See, the narcissist experience, they may have been with you on that holiday, on that boat trip, on your birthday, on their birthday, on the vacation, wherever. They may have been physically present with you, but their experience is totally different than yours. They don't look at you fawning and saying, wow, I am so fortunate to have this beautiful human being as my spouse. They're so kind and loving and empathetic, and I am so lucky and blessed to be in that relationship. No, those were words you were saying when you were in the relationship. What the narcissist is saying when you're saying that to yourself on, let's say it's a holiday, what they're saying is, okay, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, the day's about 1/3 the way over, all the presents have been opened, it's time to blow up this day, and I'll do it slowly, I'll do it insidiously, and I'll make sure that my spouse doesn't really know what's going on, but in another 8 hours, they will be on the couch scratching their head while I am on one of my 3 smartphones looking for their replacement or getting other sources of supply or posting pictures or memes all over social media of all the gifts that I got from anybody. And I will be doing what I'm doing, and I will be devaluing my spouse, which was you. And it certainly was me. You see, this is how the narcissist blows up vacations. It's how they blow up holidays, birthdays, anything they can, because the narcissist does not want you to remember the good times. They don't want you to remember anything that was pleasant from the past. They want to try and destroy it. This is, again, why you need reminders. So like I mentioned a few moments ago before I closed the video, when you were with the narcissist, no matter what you were doing, maybe you were in a car driving 500 miles to go to visit the in-laws or something, their experience was totally different than yours. Your experience back then was probably coming from a place of abundance, of growth, of happiness, etc. But the narcissist was just simply thinking, okay, I have 500 miles. I've got about 10 hours, 8 hours to get where we're going. How am I going to give that person the silent treatment? How am I going to triangulate them? How am I going to have other people call me or text me so the person driving the car, which was you, here's the ping or here's the message, and then they can question me why I'm not talking to them, but why I'm actually on my smartphone devaluing them. You see, this is how the narcissist thinks. Now, did you ever have good times with the narcissist? Of course you did, but they were few and far between. And most of those good times, I can assure you, were in the love bomb / euphoric stage, in the beginning of that relationship. That's when the narcissist was looking to sink their dirty fangs into you. That's when they wore the mask really tight to their face. That's why it was super glued to their face. And that version of them, the fakeness, that one fake version of them, and they have millions of fake versions of them because they're all fake, that one was custom made for you to see that mask, for you to fall for the narcissist, and for you to believe in their false narrative. And once the narcissist knew that they had you, that's when they began to retreat or pull back, and they began to devalue you more and more and more. And they watched you squirm. They watched your life implode. They watched the smear campaign be instilled, because that's what they were administering, which was the smear campaign to blow up anything that mattered to you and yourself. And they saw how long you could tolerate it, and they saw how long you would put up with the toxicity. Because remember, you didn't have the definitions and the terms in the narcissistic abusive cycle. You just know, example, that you weren't being talked to. Well, that turns out to be the silent treatment. And when that goes on day after day, week after week, for a period of time, it is very debilitating. It is very challenging, because you're the one that's getting drained, and the narcissist is getting their cup full by watching you squirm. And then when you would get the silent treatment, what would you do? You would be the one that broke the ice, and you would be apologizing for things that you did or didn't even do, just because you wanted to have communication channels opened. The narcissist didn't care about that at all. They were just playing the long waiting game, trying to bleed you dry of your resources, of your energy, of your time, of your empathy, of you being you. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that, you are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And this is how easily the narcissist rewrites the past. They will rewrite it however they want to. They're rewriting it right now with somebody, I can assure you. They'll rewrite it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. The narcissist only cares about themselves. And when you don't care about humanity or the human race, and you're the narcissist, that is a very, 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 very challenging place to be if you're in a relationship with these people. Because these people, i.e. the narcissists, they're empty vessels, they're empty shells, there's nothing to them. They just walk around the planet trying to abuse and manipulate and steal people's energy and steal people's time, love, money, empathy from them. And the narcissists, remember, they are always in competition with people, always. So run for the hills. And if you haven't blocked them, I strongly suggest to do so now. If not now, when? I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye everybody.